Buying at the worst time still beats renting. That's what we're going to cover in this monthly market report. This is for you if you are a real estate agent, a financial advisor, or an attorney interested in market data to help you advise a client, or perhaps you are that potential buyer or seller looking for some direction. I'm Paulo Rodriguez. I've been a mortgage professional since 2005, and here is the market data that you need to make an informed buying or selling decision or help your client do the same. As we head into a new year, the thought on many people's minds will be, should we buy a home? And it's a good question because on the surface, it really looks like it makes more sense to rent, on the surface at least. Here is a quote from Bankrate. On average, renting a home is cheaper than paying a mortgage in all 50 of the largest US metros in 2025, with the cost difference between the two growing in 38 metros since last year. Now that's factually correct. Everybody has to live somewhere, and renting right now on the surface is cheaper than a mortgage. But that is in a state of change. The chief economist at First American said this: the affordability gains are broad, with 35 of top 50 metros posting annual improvement and 48 out of 50 improving over the previous month. That momentum matters because it helps some potential buyers realize one of the most powerful and enduring benefits of homeownership, which is once you own, equity gains can offset a large share of your ongoing housing cost over time. In other words, the short-term challenge of scraping together the down payment coexists with the long-run financial benefits that make home ownership so appealing. So affordability is improving, not where it needs to be, but it is improving. So what are you saying then, Paulo? Things are getting better, but it's not yet time to buy? Well, hold that thought, because if you're concerned with timing, you need to look at this graph from First American. This is a look at wealth gain over time. If you look at the solid lines, those depict the financial impact to your net worth if you were to own a home. In other words, you would have benefit from owning a home because you can see the solid lines are trending up. What's most interesting is the blue solid line, which is the net worth impact for people who bought in 2006. Now, if you recall, 2006 was the worst year to buy because that was the top of the market before the meltdown. I would know because I bought my first home in November of 2006 when I was a 24-year-old kid that didn't know what he was doing. And despite that, those that had the worst timing, like me, made out just fine over time. Now, look at the dashed lines. Those depict the financial impact to the net worth of people who chose to rent instead of own. The most interesting line there for me is the blue dashed line, because it shows that even if you were wise enough to stay away from buying at the top of the market in 2006 and continued to rent, you still lost out, and you lost out big. Look at the difference between the two blue lines on the right of the graph when you fast forward to 2020. The difference is almost $500,000 in net worth. And this was modeled on an average price home, by the way, which means that the more expensive the home is, the more likely the difference is to be in the millions. There's an old saying that everyone that lives indoors pays a mortgage. And it's true, because you either pay it for yourself or you pay it for your landlord. Homeowners gain equity and build wealth over time. Time in the home allows equity accumulation to offset the other costs of ownership. The chief economist at Redfin said that nationally, now is a good time to buy if you can afford it. Prices keep climbing, but with lower mortgage rates and more inventory, buyers have an upper hand in negotiation. An uneasy economy and political tensions are making everyone uneasy, though, and local housing markets vary widely. Buyers serious about making offers should consult a local agent and be confident in their finances and future income. And that's supported by the fact that Zillow just came out and said that affordability for home buyers has reached a 3-year high. So in closing, let me leave you with this. Renting can make sense in certain seasons of life, no question about it. But when we zoom out and look at the data, the long-term math still favors ownership for those who can responsibly make it work. The biggest risk historically hasn't been buying at the wrong time. It's been staying on the sidelines for too long. Markets move, rates change, headlines come and go, but time is the one variable you cannot get back. And the data consistently shows that time in the market matters far more than timing the market. So whether you're advising a client or you're personally weighing your next move, the right question may not be, is now the perfect time, but rather, does this decision move me closer to where I want to be in 5, 10, 15 years from now? If you want help walking through that decision with real numbers, not guesses, that's exactly what I do. Just reach out. That's a wrap for the January market report. Happy New Year. I appreciate you listening in. forward, subscribe, share. I'll be back next month. But before you go, if you are looking to purchase or refinance or know someone that is and would like a no-cost consultation with me personally, feel free to reach out and I'd be happy to analyze if your debt is structured in the most optimal way or if there's room for improvement. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.